last breath from them.
Hey guys, Stylish here. Today we're gonna do a particular video. It's gonna be a build path kind of runes mastery setup to what you wanna have in your games with Zed. I read a lot of your comments, guys. I don't answer a lot of them, but this has been requested by many, so I'm just gonna do it right now. There's gonna be a patch that will change the items soon, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and release this video before the patch, and then do a little quick update after the item changes to see if the build changes a little bit. I'm not sure, we'll see there. So let's get started with rune page. We're gonna have 2 to 3 rune pages, depending if you can play without MR or if you really do need the MR. So pretty simple, it's gonna always be lethality or AD reds. It doesn't matter which one you take. Lethality is a little bit stronger when you back and you buy that Dirk, and AD is gonna be a little stronger beforehand. But the difference is very small, so feel free to choose whatever you want to. It's gonna be HP per level yellow against AP and armor against AD. We're always gonna go with enough CDR per level blue so that you can cap depending on the items you take. So let's say you're going the usual Yomu's Black Lever, you're gonna wanna have around 10% CDR per level. So basically, against AP you take 6 CDR per level blue, and then the rest is MR, and against AD it'd be 6 CDR blue, and the rest would be armor. Now for Quint, people ask me lethality. I think it's a little greedy. The thing is that Zed's early game is already not that great, so if you do decide to go full lethality, adding the Quint's lethality, your early game is gonna suffer a lot, and it's just greedy and you don't really need it. So always go AD Quints, it helps you last hit, and it's perfect. Now for the extra page, this is gonna be a page where you're gonna take it if you're not gonna build Black Lever. The thing is, the setup is exactly the same. It's gonna be lethality or AD red, armor or HP per level yellow. But then the thing is that blues will be full CDR per level, and Quints will be 2 AD and CDR per level. I'll explain the purpose of this rune page a little bit later in the video. Now for masteries, nothing very special. We're usually gonna take 18 points in cunning. That's gonna be savagery, assassin, merciless, dangerous game, precision, TLD. You don't really want to change anything here. Now for the 12 points, we're usually gonna go with ferocity. I personally take sorcery. You could take fury as well. Both are pretty equal and not that great and don't change a whole lot of things, so you can choose the one you want to. I usually take Feast because I don't basic attack that much the enemy mid laner, so I'd just rather go for Feast. And then I would go 4 point in Natural Talent and 1 point in Vampirism. So why? Because I think that you don't basic attack the minions enough to go full Vampirism, but having a little bit of Vampirism is always better than having absolutely none. Now the fourth section is going to be really about your preference. I'm a greedy player and I like playing through Snowball and stuff, so I usually will take Bounty Hunter, but you can go Double-Edged Sword or Battle Trance if you want to be a little stronger early game, but you're not going to scale as good, but it's really the same. So for the build path, I'm going to propose to you guys 3 build paths. They're going to be a little bit particular. Some people may not agree or may agree, but this is what I do, this is what I find most success with. Obviously, I have a different playstyle maybe, so like this setup is completely perfect with the way I play Zed, the way I just play the game in general. So like, you don't need to copy the whole build exactly, but this is pretty dope. First thing first, we're gonna start it out with the burst build, the snowball build, the fun build. It's always gonna be a Yomu's Duskblade, Pyro Boots, and Black Lever. So let's start with the boots. This is going to be exactly the same with every build. You want to go either MR usually or armor boots, depending on the situation. If there's a lot of champions that stacks lethality, armor boots is perfect. If there's CC, MR boots is perfect. Now if you snowball, you can always go Moby boots. This is if you're completely destroying mid lane and you're just looking to pressure sides a lot early game and just win the game that way. Then you can just go Moby boots as well, it'll work. So you want to start with Yomu's Dusk, and once you have these 2 items, your damage is just going to be insane. These 2 work so good together, and there's probably not a better synergy double item that will give you that much damage once you finish it. Black Cleaver, pretty self-explanatory, gives armor pen and gives CDR that you need. Now for the situational items, there's gonna be Mouse, Scimitar, Last Whisper, Titanic, and Styrax, and also GA. The way you want to think about it is if they have a lot of AP damage, or if they have AP damage that is very scary, or like you have a tough matchup in mid lane, or like double AP jungle mid lane, you're gonna pick up Mao and there's gonna be multiple AP damage. Or if your laning phase is against a very hard matchup, or you're not confident into it, or if the jungler and the mid lane is AP, then Mao is a pretty much perfect item. Now, if you can survive with, if you can lane without Hex Shrinker, then I recommend you build it as a 5th item. But if you do need it in lane, if you're not confident, it doesn't really matter about the matchup. It's really about how confident you feel into whatever champion or player you're facing. So if you think you need extra tankiness, extra survivability stats, then just pick up that Hex Shrinker early, and you can even finish it if you want to. It's fine. There's not a whole loss of damage if you do that. Scimitar is going to be the item picked if there's going to be a lot of CC. Last Whisper, if there's a lot of armor stacking or like a lot of flat armor on the carries, like armor boost GA or armor boots Zonias, then you want that Last Whisper. Give you that extra damage, extra armor pen. It's very, very deadly, very cheap, very good item. Now, if you do not need any of these 3 first situational items, what you're gonna do is you can go for the Styrax or GA, and you want to pick up a last item, Titanic. So let's talk about a bit about Titanic. A lot of people ask me why not go Ravenous and stuff like that. The thing is, late game, having extra tankiness is a lot better than having extra AD, especially when your AD is already like a 400 plus. But the reason why we're gonna pick Titanic over Ravenous is because at the end of the day, Ravenous actually does the 100% of your total AD, which is a basic attack damage, while Titanic will reset your basic attack. So the damage right there is actually equal, except that Titanic will give you an extra 300 damage because you're mainly gonna have a lot of HP, like around 3k. But then at the end of the day, the reason why Titanic is even better is because in all these builds, we're gonna be selling boots when we're full build to then buy a PD. Why? Because PD gives enough movement speed without having a pair of boots, pretty much. So like you're always gonna be running a 400 movement speed plus, but then it gives you that extra duelist power, that extra attack speed for DPS, and that extra crit chance for both DPS and enhancing burst damage. So then by using Titanic to reset that AA, you utilize a double AA instead of one with Ravenous, which then both could crit and both could do double the damage. So then basically if your AA crits, Titanic would have done more than the double the damage than Ravenous will have done, while giving you extra tankiness, which is a better stat than having extra AD late game. Now build number 2, this is gonna be the build that you're gonna take when you wanna split push a lot or like duel a lot of people, be pretty much impossible a 1v1. We're gonna call this one the duelist build, and its core items are gonna be Youmuu's pair of boots, Black Cleaver, and Blade. Now in this build, you're gonna start usually with Youmuu's and a pair of boots, the same concept as last one for the boots. Except that in this one, you can choose to go either Black Cleaver as a 3rd item or Blade as a 3rd item, and then 4th to whatever item you didn't take. If you go Black Cleaver, then you're gonna have more ultis and more occasions to catch people and grab kills. If you go Blade, then you can sustain a lot more if you're already split pushing, and your dueling power your damage is gonna be better against squishy targets. Now for the situational items, it's gonna be Mao and Scimitar and Last Whisper for the exact same reasons that in the first build, except that usually when you take that build, you're gonna want a Last Whisper most of the time, because this build is made to duel people, so you're usually gonna be dueling tanks and bruisers that are stacking armor against you, so then you can just do true damage and kill them under like 3 seconds with Deathmark. Now for the last situational item, or the last 2 situational items, because this build doesn't have that much AD, you don't want to go Styrax, you don't want to go Titanic either, because it's built in a lot of attack speed with the Blade PD, so resetting your AA is not really that useful since you're already gonna AA very fast. So what you're gonna do is you usually want to go either GA or BT. Why BT? BT is actually a very good item for a dueling champion. The thing is that you're gonna basic attack very fast with your attack speed, so you're gonna be lifestealing a lot, and at the same time it gives a lot of AD, which is what you lack, and you get that extra 300 HP from the shield, which then also helps you duel other champions, as well as being able to lifesteal a lot faster through creeps while you're split pushing. So last build is gonna be the exact same as the first one. It's actually a burst build too. The only difference is that we're not gonna build Black Cleaver in this one. Now the thing is, I have a very bad opinion in Black Cleaver. Thing is, Black Cleaver does not give you any real good stat if you're a Zed player aside the CDR. The reason why we're taking Black Cleaver is only strictly because it's the only real source of CDR for an AD champ like Zed, mainly because of you're not gonna be building Ma every game if you don't need it. You can't build CDR boots because armor boots and MR boots are so huge. Essence Reaver is like an ADC item. Death Stance does not work very well against with Zed rather. I think that's pretty much it for the CDR items, so it only leaves you Youmuu's and Black Cleaver, so that's why you kind of need Black Cleaver. But then if you run that 20% CDR rune page, which then leaves you with no MR in lane, if you can handle it, then you can afford building either Mao or Death Stance in addition of Youmuu's to then cap CDR at 40%. So the build goes Youmuu's, Duskblade, a pair of boots, Last Whisper, and either get Mao or Death Stance depending. If you need Mao, go for Mao always, because Death Stance, as I said, isn't that great on Zed. But if you don't need Mao at all, then just go for Death Stance just for the extra CDR, and you're also getting lifesteal, so it's not that bad. Now the last item is going to be still the same kind of situational items with Scimitar and GA. But then if you don't need these two, then you want to go Titanic and then top it off with PD, and you're going to do an insane amount of damage. The build is very special. If you can handle laning without MR, its build path is a lot easier to get, so you're going to have a lot easier time snowballing and keep snowballing during the mid game into late game. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for the subs that we got in the channel. I really want to thank all and every one of you guys, because I think we grew by like 10 times or something. I can't even count anymore, but it's pretty amazing. So thanks everyone for the help and the support. I really appreciate it. I read almost every comment. I obviously don't have the time to answer all of them, but I actually read almost all of it. So keep sending them, like the video, share with your friend, and hit that sub button. And I'll see ya on the next one, which is probably gonna be a stream highlight. So take it easy and good luck in your ranked games.